Hey guys, SuperGen here, and I thought today we'd do a little relaxing. Do something a little out of the ordinary. I want to give you all a tour of my house. Here it is from the outside. I do a lot of traveling. My job requires it, but when I think of home, I think of Rosethorn Hall, right here in Skingrad. Yeah, I kind of wanted to get away from that guard. Me and the guards don't get along so well. But let's start off our tour by taking you into the kitchen and the dining area. I've got kind of interesting culinary tastes. It costs quite a little bit of money to have some of these things brought in from the Shivering Isles, but I would say it's worth every penny. Especially my Felmore Spore wine. Gotta love it. And I keep some trophies here. Prize Minotaur horn. Took me a long time to hunt down that Minotaur. I guess I don't keep anything in here. Or there. For some reason I thought I had more food than this. I guess I'll have to go resupply. I do like to keep my alchemy ingredients here. I know that some of them are a little shady, a little not really widely accepted, but when you're a scientist, you gotta push beyond what is socially acceptable sometimes. Alright, continue our tour. Here's a nice little, well, it's actually more of my study. I admit I'm a bit compulsive about reading people's letters. I really enjoy learning about recipes and what people do with their time. I'm also an archer. Keep some of the more interesting arrows here. Those with magical or just unusual properties. Here's the best ones though. Storm Call, the Arrow of Harm, and the Arrow of Withering. Pretty cool. I am somewhat of a scholar. In fact, my character class here is Sage, so it shouldn't surprise you that I've got quite the book collection. And let me tell you, those shelves are not as sturdy as they look, so it was a bit of an effort. But although these are some pretty fine books, this isn't the jewel in my collection. No, I keep those a little more secure. But I would like to, my eventual goal is to have a copy of every book published in both the Shivering Isles, as you see here, as well as the regular books of Cyrodiil. And as you can see, I don't necessarily have too many scruples about taking it if it's the only copy I can find, but I try to keep it mostly honest. And now, my room. This ought to be the peak of our tour. I found that the various flyers and handbills that you can find around Cyrodiil make excellent fire materials, as do newspapers, so I keep them close by. And here's my fire poker. Thought it was kind of funny. Picked it up in an Oblivion gate. I love eyelid statues. I collect them and put them as decoratively as possible. I keep this newspaper because it's one of my proudest achievements. It was tricky, but, well, I better not give too much away about it. There might be officers of the law watching this, so. Another favorite thing of mine is jewelry, and magical jewelry especially. And it's just so amazing what you can find and what effects such things can have. I'd say the crowning one of my collection here is this, the Mundane Ring. Is this magic 50%? Oh yes. Don't wear it too often, but I'll hang on to it forever. I also have an interest in magical clothing, or unique clothing. There's some pretty unusual examples that can be found, but I won't assume I've found them all yet. Who knows when that might happen. I ignore the shambles skull on the bed. It's something of a little joke of mine. More relics from the Shivering Isles. I don't really have much of a use for them, but they're so beautiful. I love to decorate with them. Some magical stones that I've found along my journey. But, the best of my collection is in this case. Excuse me, latch is a little rusty. Lots of various stones. I pride myself on having the largest Wellican stone collection known in Cyrodiil. I've also got some, take a closer look here, some Madness ore and some amber. That was difficult to find. I'm no necromancer, just an avid scholar and curiosityist. Speaking of scholarly, this is where I keep my spells. I'm not much of a caster myself, but just they're so interesting. There's some truly unique ones to be found. I spent quite a lot of money on those, but it was really worth it. Let's have a look at my desk. Yep. I try to keep at least one copy of every spell I find. And yeah, as you can see, that's quite a lot of spells. Also keep a good supply of ink and quills, as well as parchment on hand. Well, not as much parchment as I should, really. Excuse me. When you get to be my age, you start to have a little trouble with getting up. And you may have seen one of my little secrets here, but we'll save that for the conclusion of our tour. Got some... Mead is definitely my drink of choice. For my husband, he likes some rare wines. And this is where we usually have our breakfast. Oh, let's take a look here. This is really nostalgic for me. This is some of the gear I've used in my travels to get me where I am. Ah, steel skin. My very first piece of magical armor. I made it myself. Well, I converted it from a Kavach Curios, but still. Dark Bolt, Shadow's Kiss. Oh yes. Had some good times with that gear. I've also got Shadow Stip, but they don't quite fit in the case. Now here is where I keep my most valuable and precious items. Every one of these is a skill book. And let me tell you, they have not been easy to find. Still, I don't think I've got them all yet. And I'll go ahead and show you one of my little secrets. I'm sure you guys are trustworthy. There we go. Excuse me, I need to concentrate a little bit on this. A little simpler. There we go. Let's be careful, don't want to mess up the pattern. Yep. I love stonework. I love stones. I pride myself on having quite the collection of legitimately owned, none of these are stolen, flawless gems. So beautiful. Well, that just about does it for our tour. I think that's everything. Well, there might be something in the... I haven't shown you the basement yet. Frankly, I don't recall what, if anything, is down there. I don't keep servants, so it might just be a cluttered mess, but no tour would be complete without viewing all the rooms, right? kind of an odd smell. It has been a while since I've been down here. What? I'm not sure. Right. This tour is over.